Hey there, E-Squad, and welcome back to the channel. E-Squad is just something I wanted to have to reference my lovely viewers. I think of it as who needs an A-Squad when you can be a part of the E-Squad. We are the individuals that are trying to learn, improve, and execute everything that we hear today. I hope those of you that watched my first video were able to get some insight and information that you never had or even thought about. So, alright guys, today I wanted to talk about FOMO. FOMO, basically, it stands for fear of missing out. I'm sure everyone has had this fear at one time or another in their life. And I'm here to say it's a common among all of us, especially nowadays with social media. I know that I've felt this way before. My friends would hang out and I would not be invited, but I would still see a post on Facebook or a Snapchat of them hanging out, and to be honest, it would hurt my feelings and made me question the type of person that I am. I did some self-reflection and learned a few things about myself that sometimes I do like hanging out with my friends, but most of the time I'm pretty introvert. But my introvert side can come out when needed. I did some Googling on the World Wide Web, and this is how I found out about FOMO. And since that day, I deleted my social media because, to be honest, most of the time I was just seeing what others were doing, and I would feel envy, jealous, and or just sadness. Let me quickly hit you with a statistic that I found. FOMO is experienced by 56% of social media users and 69% of millennials. The top 3 posts that create FOMO are posts about travel, events / parties, and or food, believe it or not. This is definitely true on many levels. I see, posts all the time about people's, highlights on their travel, on their trips, or whatever events, parties going on, someone's quinceañera, someone's wedding, whatever it could be, and, kind of scrolling, seeing it, not being invited, and, you might feel some type of way. That's just you basically feeling that FOMO, nothing is guaranteed to you, they don't have no obligation to invite you to anything and everything, or, whatever it may be, or, you just might not be as close to that individual as what you thought, but now, this doesn't mean though, that statistic, that doesn't mean that it's only millennials that are being affected by it. It's not only derived from social media either, but marketing companies use it as well to kind of make you purchase more of their products. Basically, I don't know if you guys have ever had, the newest iPhone that just recently came out, but yet, 3-4 months later, bam, a new one comes out, and you're quickly seeing others buy it, have it, and, have the newest, features, or, something just slightly newer than yours, and, you're still making those payments on it, trying to pay it off, but, you just having that FOMO, your fear of missing out of like, man, I should really get that too, you know what I mean? So it's definitely one of those things. I know for me, I've had the same iPhone for about 4.5 years, and, I just recently upgraded to the 14 Pro, but best believe that I had moments where I just wanted the newest thing because others around me had it. If you ever feel this type of way, let me give you some tips to cope with FOMO. The first one would be to track your negative thoughts, either in a journal or your phone. This helps you see how often the thoughts come to you each and every day. You should also write what happened prior to you thinking this way, since it is what triggered the thought. Once you find the trigger, it becomes easier to know when a negative thought is going to pop up. To cancel all these thoughts, we're going to need positive ones. So this leads me to the second tip. Start thinking of positive things. I feel like this comes hand in hand with my last video of gratitude, or, being grateful. You want to be able to give your mind a positive thought to hold on to come back to. This can be as simple as, hey, since I'm not going to a party, or, gathering tonight, whatever's going on, how about I go to the gym and, get an extra workout in, or read a little extra from a book I'm really enjoying and getting into. It can be really anything you enjoy doing. Those are just examples. You can even take an extra step and still go out, but by yourself, and, reflect and just be present with the world around you. And you can leave your phone in your car or at home, when you go out. The third tip is to give yourself a technology break. This, for me, I think is the most important. Simply because I see technology being the current source of the way you're feeling. So why not just cut it from the roots? Show yourself that you are not defined by what you post or show off to the internet. You want to be able to be comfortable being alone and not always busy or occupying your time with endless scrolling and comparison to others. I want you to be able to be okay with being by yourself. In 2014, in 2014, Timothy Wilson, a social psychologist at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, and some colleagues of his recruited hundreds of undergraduate student volunteers and community members to take part in thinking periods. The team left participants alone in a lab room in which they could push a button and shock themselves if they wanted to. Believe it or not, 67% of men and 25% of women chose to inflict it onto themselves rather than just sit quietly and think. Now, this is just frightening to hear that there are people in society afraid to be alone with their thoughts and would rather inflict damage to get over it. I know for me, I definitely enjoy my time alone. It helps me just reflect and just kind of think of what's going on and maybe things I need to work on as an individual or things I know need to get done, and I just need to process them. Overall, I think of it like this. You don't want to compare your everyday life to your friends' highlights. You never know what's going on before or after a picture was posted. So use the 3 tips I gave you and implement them when needed. And don't be afraid to share what you learn. You are making the world a better place by doing that. We are all in this together, and we could all use a little help and guidance when needed. Anyways, guys, that was my second video. Episode 2 is, I'm calling these episodes for some reason. Not sure why just yet, but, vid 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it. Definitely FOMO was one that I've been thinking about, and definitely something that I know I've experienced. So I know if I'm experiencing it, I know someone out there is experiencing it as well, whether it's now or before or even in the future. But definitely, definitely try your best to have those good thoughts, and don't be afraid to not always be involved in anything and everything your friends are doing, because again, ultimately, your friends have friends, and those friends of your friends might not be your friends, and maybe there's a reason that they haven't introduced you to them. Maybe you guys live completely different lifestyles, and they know you guys just wouldn't be able to get along as well, or make that connection. So ultimately, they could be protecting you in some sort of way. So definitely don't have that fear of missing out. Anyways, guys, hope to see you guys on the next video. I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think of these. Again, I plan on making many more. Definitely know, and I truly believe that someone out there is going to hear this, take something from it, even though 99.9% of y'all might not really do anything with it, but that 0.01% that's out there needs it. I'm more than happy to give my 2 cents, my thoughts, and just my tips and whatever I've learned, and kind of help them out and whatever's going on in their life.